Hush your mouth talking all that noise. You can hate all you want, but we still them boys. Dirty, dirty D. Texas where we stay at. We decide in order till you know that's where we play at. Hey, this year, this the payback. Yeah, we them Cowboys, and now we don't play that. Work. This is Cowboy Nation. Work. Welcome to Cowboy Nation. Work. Y'all can keep on hate. Work.
Cowboys Nation, Cowboys Nation, Cowboys Nation. Welcome to another episode of Defending the Boys. I am your boy D. Will, and Victory Monday. It's a Cowboys Victory Monday, and we're going to start discussing, since the game is on Thursday this week, we're going to start discussing a little bit about the Kansas City Chiefs, and I really do hate that we can't really just lounge and stay excited in the win over Philadelphia, but we kind of put ourselves in a hole. That's just the honesty of it. We put ourselves in a hole with horrible defensive play. We had to get some pieces to make that defense a little bit better, and now we're stuck. We have to be able to lock back in and turn towards the Kansas City Chiefs, which is on Thursday. Now, as fans, we ain't got to lock in. We ain't got nothing to do but to talk noise, talk smack. But at the same time, I still want you guys to be ready and prepared a little bit for the game. Looked at the injury report. I guess Kalen Carson was not on the injury report. I went back and looked at the game. Looked like he was doing just fine after his injury. I thought that he had an injury, but it didn't appear that it kept him out of that last game. There were some notable players on the injury report. Also, Digizua, who didn't participate today. George Pickens, who didn't participate today. Cavante Turpin, who didn't participate today. And then a long list of guys who were either obviously, and Tyler Guyton, who didn't participate today. But then a long list of guys after that who had either limited or full participation in practice. The only one that we expect not to have this week is going to be Tyler Guyton. So we will have Nate Thomas as our backup left tackle. And the last time he started as the left tackle, I think I just said he'll be our backup, but he'll be our starting left tackle this week. Now, the last time he started at left tackle, he didn't do very well. I think I don't remember exactly what the score was on as far as his grade for pass blocking, but it was very, very, very low in the last game. I think it was the Jets that he actually played against. However, spelling last week, he did a pretty decent job. Just if you go back and look at the game, he did a pretty decent job of protecting Dak Prescott and being a part of the run game and different things like that. So I think we'll be all right. Hopefully he's learned a little bit. The Jets defense, obviously it had Quinnen Williams at that time and was a very good defensive line, made it pretty difficult, obviously, to kind of do your job when you're going against a team that good. I don't believe that the Kansas City Chiefs has anybody that's going to give you that type of Quinnen Williams type push, even though he wasn't going directly against him. But you're not going to get a whole lot of that type of thing. So other than that, I think the Dallas Cowboys offense will be okay, and the defense will be okay as well. Today, what we're going to talk about is the Dallas Cowboys offense versus the Kansas City Chiefs defense. And normally I tell you what I believe we have to score in order to beat the opposing team, in this case, the Kansas City Chiefs. In this situation, I don't think we have to score 40 points, but I think we will score 40 points. We've been going against some pretty good defenses. I mean, other than the Arizona game, which was just one of those games, and we seem to have it every year. Other than that game, which was an anomaly, basically, when the Cowboys go against defenses that aren't one of the best in the leagues, they're putting 40 points on them, right? The Kansas City Chiefs defense isn't one of the best in the league. It is going to give us an opportunity to do some things and really some big things. I was trying to pull up the rankings, but I don't see what I did with the sheet that had all the rankings on it, but it's okay. It's okay. The Kansas City Chiefs defense is not a horrible defense. They are a team that's going to get penalties just like the Cowboys, and they're going to rely on their quarterback, who does have a groin. I told you all the Cowboys injuries, but Patrick Mahomes does have a groin injury that was reported. He was a full participant in the walkthrough today, but we don't know how that's going to do and how that's going to affect his getting out of the pocket and doing the things that he normally does. And I guess they'll, kind of watch that play by play, but that's something to keep in mind. But that's kind of what they rely on, right? And so, from an offensive side of the ball, I believe that, they I'm not saying that their running backs are horrible or their offensive line is horrible, but obviously we've played better. As far as the run game is concerned, we've had better running backs that we've gone against than Mr. Hunt. So I think it's a situation where, yes, Patrick Mahomes is going to score and he's going to be able to do the things that he does, even with a better defense. And, I say better without really knowing what it is that we have in the secondary. And that's one thing that we're going to talk about tomorrow, is exactly what's going on with our secondary, because Philadelphia Eagles quarterback isn't that good, even though they have great wide receivers, right? And then obviously the Raiders the week before didn't have any wide receivers and their quarterback sucked. So a situation where you have not great, but decent wide receivers, even though they're both on the injury report too, but they were participants today as far as the walkthrough was concerned. But if you can't go out there and run with those guys, then we don't have the defense that we think we have, right? That we hope we have, rather. But again, we're not expecting for our defense to be a shutdown defense. Yes, they shut down the run the last 2 weeks. If you really look at it, Ashton Genty, 7 yards, I believe, and 22 yards from Saquon Barkley. I mean, that's pretty strong statements from some decent sized names as far as what you can do against the run with the current defense that we have. It's just, again, when you start looking at the passing game, that's yet to be seen. And we're going to see that this week. I believe that the Kansas City Chiefs will give us our first opportunity to kind of get a feel of what it is that our secondary really, really has. So that's why Kalen Carson is going to be big. Deron Bland is going to be big to have him on the field. I was told last week that Trayvon Diggs would possibly be back against the Kansas City Chiefs. Didn't hear anything about that today. So that's something to I guess, kind of pay attention to. But just, using the secondary that we had before Trayvon Diggs went out, or after Trayvon Diggs went out, looking at that secondary and saying, okay, can they hold up against the likes of the Kansas City Chiefs and the Chargers and the Vikings and Detroit? And we'll get a good idea of that this week against a team that has a good quarterback, or a great quarterback, rather. So a team that has a great quarterback and decent wide receivers. Let's see how they actually hold up in the secondary in that particular situation. I don't believe that he's going to have all day to just back up and pick you apart. But the thing about Patrick Mahomes is he doesn't need all day. He'll get to running around and create plays and, do different things like that. Again, the groin may limit some of that, and that'll give the Cowboys a little bit of a better opportunity. But that's talking about the defense. Let's talk about the offense, though, right? So we'll get really into the defense tomorrow. But for the offense, I think we'll put up 40 points. That's what I really think. I think that the offense is going to put up 40 points. They don't have anything. I mean, when you watch a lot of the games, you see a lot of passes, in that zones and everything else that they do, or there's a lot of people open over the middle. And if you let CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens and, the rest of our team just be wide open over the middle, they're going to start to really eat you alive, and we're going to march right down the screen. They didn't show me anything where they'd be able to stop our running game. And I really think, short of a bunch of penalties, a bunch of turnovers, um, and a bunch of drop passes, from CeeDee Lamb, there's nothing stopping the Dallas Cowboys offense from scoring 40 points on Thanksgiving. I mean, we love Thanksgiving. We love prime time. We love to be able to go out there and show when the entire world is watching. So this is a situation where, I mean, a 40 burger on this team is almost a guaranteed win. I don't think that they can keep up with that. I mean, Patrick Mahomes can keep up with anything. I mean, if you put him in a tight spot and you start messing up and you spot him 21 points, then he can keep scoring. Okay, he can do what it takes to actually win a football game. So I'm not saying that it's impossible for them to score 40 points. If you look throughout the year, they're not a 40-point offense this year, though. And with that being said, I think we can score 40 points. I don't think they're going to score 40 points. I think we can have a dominant win against the Kansas City Chiefs, not because they're not a very good team, but just because we're a different team, and it's time for us to show it. It's time for us to show that we are a different team than what people have maybe seen at the beginning of the year. So if you're still judging the Dallas Cowboys from the Chicago Bears game, or you're still judging them from barely squeaking out the Giants game, or you're still judging them from some of those things before Quentin Williams got on this defense, this is a different team. This is a different defense. Maybe not a number one defense in the league type of defense, but definitely a formidable defense. And so with a formidable defense, I believe that being able to put 40 points kind of seals the win in this game. And this is a 40 burger type of game. I didn't say that last week because I knew it wasn't going to be 4. I said that we were going to be able to get to 30 points last week. And we only got to 24, but we easily could have been at 30. There was plenty of things that could have got us to 30. Dropped CeeDee Lamb passes would have got us there. He dropped one of them in the end zone, and that in itself would have been 31 points by itself. The whole thing about this game getting away from us at the beginning of the game last week was really more into that running into the punter. That still, to me, changes the whole game, and the whole chemistry of the game just kind of went kind of wonky for a second because you gave them another opportunity. Then they moved down. We didn't stop them again. Again, not a shutdown defense, but one that had already given the Philadelphia Eagles a 3 and out. I think mentally it was kind of like, we got to go back out there. And then different things happened, and they ended up getting another touchdown. And then mentally you're starting to look like, oh my God, it's supposed to be one of those games, right? Because now we're fumbling and we're all these other things that's going on. But once they got it together, they became a shutdown defense, right? Again, I'm not expecting them to be a shutdown defense against Kansas City. I just don't believe Kansas City can keep up with a 40-point game. And I think that the Cowboys offense can score a 40-point game. So again, tomorrow we're going to talk a little bit about the defense. We're going to talk about what the defense needs to do. I have a few different things that we can kind of go over from a defensive standpoint, other than what I already talked about today, right? And then we're going to, on Wednesday, talk about the AI. We're going to go back to the AI company and see what they say is going to happen. By the way, AI was wrong this week. They said that the Philadelphia Eagles, or last week, they said the Philadelphia Eagles were going to win. Philadelphia Eagles did not win. The Cowboys won 24-21. We're very much still so excited about the fact that they won that game. But we're going to give AI another opportunity to tell us what's going to happen on Thanksgiving Day. Man, I thank you guys so very much for tuning in. Finally able to get to 300 subscribers. That is wonderful. Continue to hit that subscribe button. Continue to hit the like button as well. Feel free to leave comments. There's a lot of Eagles fans in our comments last week. So it was good to see some of you guys coming to the rescue and letting them know that, hey, this was a win that we will celebrate. All right. Hey, I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. This is D. Will defending the boys. I'm out.